Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Mary. I'm super excited to bring to you another compilation video of some of my favorite ways that I organize in my craft space. I scoured my YouTube channel to put them all in one place because I realized I've done so many over the past few years and I thought this might be helpful. Also for me, I want to go back and see what I've done, what I've changed, and what used to work and maybe doesn't work anymore, and share a bit of that with you. If you look down below the description box or in the description box of the video, you're going to see timestamps if you want to jump around. But I tried to categorize them as best I could. It's just a lot to go through, so it does move pretty fast. Grab your favorite beverage and let's get into it. Okay, I'm actually going to kick off this video with one of the most commented on things I shared in one of my videos, which was some digital organization. First, before we get into that, I want to show you something about my videos and likely about a lot of the videos that you follow. This more button right here, this is where you're going to find the description of the video. So when your YouTuber says that, that's what we mean. So right here are some timestamps. If you click on those, they're going to take you directly to that part of the video. But at the bottom, if you keep scrolling, you're also going to see sometimes they have pictures assigned to those areas of the video. So right here, I have this video broken down into certain timestamps with pictures. The pictures don't really correspond here. Sometimes they do. So you can just click to that and it'll take you right to that part of the video. So I wanted to make sure I hit up that piece. Okay, so if you also are not subscribed, I would love for you to join and subscribe to my channel. And here is how you do that. You hit that little button right there that says subscribe. No, I'm kidding. But also you can put alerts on if you wanted to. You can do all notifications, or you can do like personal. Quite honestly, I don't know what personalized means. So if someone does know, put it down in the comment section. I'd be very curious to know. Okay. So let's go into the digital organization. I want you to be able to create playlists for yourself. So you can go to this little 3-dot thing there, click save playlist, and you can create one. And now you can name it whatever you want. So you can compartmentalize the videos that you want to keep and refer back to based on whatever category works for you. So you can also make them public or private. That is, of course, up to you. But then while we're here in this section, you can also share videos. So if you hit that share button, you're going to be able to copy the link and you can paste it into emails, texts, whatever. Just say you have a friend that might want to see a certain video. That's how you can do it as well. I know this might seem sort of elementary to a lot of us, but a lot of us, maybe it's not. Maybe it's new information. So I just wanted to try to be helpful with that. Okay, so to access your playlist, go to your home page of YouTube and you can see that button that says playlists. All of yours will be listed. Nice and neat and organized. All right, let's go into the next one, a bunch of Dollar Tree organization. So if you have been watching my channel for a while, probably none of this is going to be new, but that's the great thing about kind of putting it all in one video. It's a one-stop shop for now. And I get to talk about some of the updates of things that I have since shown you and now what I think about or what I do. This tabbed folder I think is great. It's so inexpensive, and you can do, you can kind of categorize or compartmentalize your projects. You can put paper in there, scraps in there, keep it all nice and neat. You could buy a bunch and you wouldn't be spending a lot of money. So I really wanted to make sure I showed you that one. Okay, the next one, and by the way, I'm moving through these pretty quickly because we have so much to talk about. So I have these little containers here now. I think this is adorable. First of all, it matches my color theme in my craft room, but also if I'm going to go on a crop or if I'm hosting a crop, these are really great to have for people just to keep things organized. It's also a really great caddy to move around with and to put off to the side. I love these little bins. I keep these in a drawer next to me, and actually I happen to have all of my tools. And when I say tools, I mean like screws and things like for, I guess, like the mechanical pieces that I use in my office, just with video recording and all that. So I keep those in a drawer. They fit perfectly in the Alex drawers, and I just have them filled up with different stuff. I love this bin. This is, obviously all of these are Dollar Tree, but I love this bin because it's a larger type. And so I can place those large stamp sets, which I always have a hard time fitting nicely. They fit well here. So I really love them for that. All right, next up, we have just some organization in the Dollar Tree, just to kind of encourage you, if you're trying to make things look nice and coordinated and pretty or whatever, however you want to do it, you can buy a lot of different sizes and shapes, but that coordinate together. So I found these in the Dollar Tree. I thought they were so super cute. They would look really great in your shelving, just nice and coordinated if that's the look you're going for. That is not a look you have to have. I'm just wanted to make sure I shared that they do have those there. And then they also have these little containers that I love because they clip closed, which keeps your stuff from spilling out. You can put anything in these. Embellishments, all of your little pieces, whatever. You can break up your sentiments and put them in there. I chose to do embossing powders. So and again, they clip closed. So I put a little spoon in there for my embossing powder. Here's a little pro tip. If you use an anti-static bag in it, it keeps it from having the stuff stick all over the place on the lid and things like that. So that helps. But then I just transferred all of my embossing powders into them, and then I put little labels that I had on these other containers which were leaking. They were so cute. I got them from the thrift store, those little glass containers, but they were not good for my embossing powders. And this is just how I use them. So I do like the bigger ones that are similar to this. They clip close just like that, but they're square. I like those better just because it fits my cardstock all the way in there. But these work really well. They were 3 to a pack for $1.25. So let's talk about embellishments in here. Now, I will show you later on in the video my preferred method for embellishments that is a little pricier, but we're talking about a little bit of money savings here for your organization. I picked this up. You can also head to Harbor Freight, which a lot of you have recommended in the comments. This is a plug for you to read comments on some of these videos I share because you all share the greatest tips. And so someone said Harbor Freight has a lot of organization for small things. This was, again, Dollar Tree, and I would only recommend this for sort of larger embellishments. I put some tiny stars in there, and they just kind of move around a little bit too much, so it's not my preferred method, but it is great. There's a plane coming over. Normally I would edit that out, but that plane was so close. I thought maybe I should record it just in case. All right, moving on. Also at the Dollar Tree, they sell embellishments. And I'm not saying you have to love the embellishments, but these containers and the container they come in, hard plastic, $3, that's actually pretty good. So if you look at stuff, maybe the innards you don't like, but the containers you do. So consider that too when you're looking out at some of the less expensive places to shop. Yeah, so I wanted to share that, and here I'm just going to show you up close. I actually really do like these embellishments. They're super sparkly. They'd be great for shaker cards. So I kept them, but yes, so look at the containers also. Okay, I want to show you a container I got from the Dollar Tree, which now allows me to set the record straight. This is my hot mess of a desk. This container I first showed a while back, and I said it was $1.25. That was a big fat lie, but it wasn't intentional. This is actually from the $5 part of the Dollar Tree. So I wanted to set the record straight there and apologize. I use this container mostly for either ongoing projects or things that I have to work on upcoming. If I'm working for designing something for a company, or I have a video due or something like that, I usually keep it all in this space so that I can just go to it, sift through, and get to creating. So that's what I like to use it for, but man, can you use it for anything. So that's a really great container. May not be the cheapest place you can find it, but I do love the clippable containers again. Now let's look at this gross drawer. Now this is my embellishment drawer. Here's a plug for your organization in that you really have to purge stuff you are not using. Clear it out because it takes up mental real estate if it doesn't take up physical. So get rid of stuff you're not using, and I did just that. Now this is a clip from that video, but I will tell you, I'll rehash this here. I really donated a ton of my stuff. And the stuff I wanted to keep, I kept it in these really cute sort of candy jar things. I wouldn't put real food in there because I just don't feel like they're sealed enough to keep it fresh, but many people have, so you know you can. But I'm using it for my craft room. Now, since the recording of this video, I actually downsized even more, and I've repurposed those candy jars for something else. But here I'm just showing you, I'm going through and I'm pulling out the amount that I would reasonably use. Okay, look at this. This is almost embarrassing, but I know I'm in good company here and we're a family and you won't judge. I got rid of so many of those embellishments. I only kept what I truly wanted and would use in the near future, not in the 5 or 10 year plan, okay? I'm on to you. I know you think like that too. So here I'm just showing you some clips of some other small containers you can get. You can get a lot. This is 10 to a pack if you want to use for your embellishments as well. Now I love this. It's kind of like a hack, but also storage. This is one of my favorites. So I got one of those sponge holders that you use in the kitchen and one of these little candy jars, I guess, but I'm using it as a trash can. I love the clear look. They're both clear. It matches. It's cute. But I'm using the front piece to hold my wet chamois or my stamp cleaner out of the way, because often I will put it right onto my project space and I'll either make the mat wet, therefore putting my card panel in it, or I'll put it right on my card. So now I have my trash and this little holder off to the side. So that is one of my faves. Next up, we have some hooks. So I am not sure, of course, what your setup is, but I have these bars that I can use and put hooks on. And if I want something really quickly reachable, I can use these hooks to store some of my adhesive. I have the foam and then I have the regular double-sided adhesive, but you can also put scissors on there. Anything that has a closure that you can put on a hook. It's basically what we're dealing with here. So that's an idea. And then I also use these shower rings for an alternative idea. I like to use real estate in my space that's just not being used, and the edges of these wire things in my closet, they're not being used. And I have a bunch of washi tape. And so I thought, why not put the washi tape and the ribbon onto these? Now you don't have to take them off. You can just pull the tape right off of them, which I thought was really fun and easy. Same thing with the ribbon. So I can just kind of pull that stuff down. So yeah, so I really, really like that. And I think that was super convenient to keep stuff up and out of the way. This is a tray from the food section at the Dollar Tree. And I just love it to put inside my Alex drawer so that I can keep stuff from moving all over the place. This one is, I think, intended for maybe like nail polish. I don't know what kind of nail polish would fit in there, but I'm using it for something else. We're gonna put some ink in there. I'm gonna use this for, well, first stickles. So I love storing my stickles as like glitter glue. I love storing it upside down. It just makes it really easy to use, and they fit perfectly in this little container. And so the first use that I'm gonna get out of that is just to store some of those Nuvo drops, pops of color, or the stickles in there. Okay, so that's my first use for it. My second use is alcohol inks. And I love this too. It keeps them up and in one specific place. So that's how I have that second one stored. Love that as well. All right, let's look at some ways to reuse or recycle or alternative ways to use stuff. Now, this isn't anything to write home about, but I wanted to encourage you to maybe look at some stuff you're going to throw out in the recycling bin and see if you can use it in your craft space. So I'm just cleaning up this black container here. You can spray paint them, you can put pattern paper over them, however you want to do it. I made this so super simple because it's more the idea and less the look of what I made that I want to share. I cut out some holographic cardstock with some circle dies. This way it gave me a circle rim that I can put on top of this black container. This was, I think, like an energy drink or something like that. That was what came in the container originally. And I taped that right to the top just to give it a fancy little look on the top of it. I put a sticker on the side of it, and then you can put this off to the side and put some of those taller items that are harder to store and just have that off to the side. And that's it. Very simple, and it didn't end up in the recycling that doesn't get recycled. So it's sitting on my desk. All right, let's move on to the next kind of reuse, recycle thing. This longer portion of this is actually in a video I'm going to talk about in just a second, but I have a wooden board underneath this magnetic sheet here. You can buy this sheet in a roll. And I am going to cover it because I have not found another use for it. I don't use it during the holidays. It's a solid wood piece. It's just sitting there. So we're going to cover it with magnetic sheet, and I'm going to use it for some die storage. I think this has to be one of my most favorite things I've done in my craft room lately, because it has exponentially altered the way that I use my dies. They are so much easier for me to grab and use. It's right next to me, and I couldn't be happier with it, because otherwise I wasn't going like the 10 steps it took to go sift through a pile of dies. I know that sounds lazy, but when I'm creating, I really just kind of want to see it. This is the way my brain works. I see it, and then I have ideas for it. So let me talk a little bit more about the die storage and the video I have for you. Okay, this is a great place to pause and talk about the new summit that's coming out. This one is probably my favorite. So this is the second time that the Paper Crafters Get Organized Summit is taking place, and I find it to be one of the most applicable and useful summits that I've been to personally. So I'm excited to be a guest speaker with the summit this year. So just really quickly about the summit, it is going to run from April 19th to the 21st, so it's 3 days. 28 guest speakers are going to bring you their ideas in specific areas of crafting organization. So my particular video is going to be in die storage, and I had so much fun with it. In fact, I revamped my entire organization system because of this summit video. So I'm really excited to bring that to you. You just saw a snippet in this video. You'll see the longer version of that, also some additional ways that I store my dies. So I'm hoping that it's really helpful for you in your quest to get those dies organized. I do want to note just a couple things about the summit. When you sign up for your free ticket, which I highly recommend that you do first before you decide or jump into purchasing anything, get the free ticket, because then you're going to be offered the lowest price ticket right after that. So if you want to purchase this to have these seminars for life with extras that come along with the ultimate bundle, do it after you sign up for the free ticket. Okay, that's sort of the hack in the situation to save you money. But you do not have to pay anything. You can attend for free. You'll have 24 hours to watch those videos. You can watch what you want. You will still get a lot of freebies from a lot of the guest speakers that are doing it. I know I have a freebie for anyone who signed up for any ticket, and then I do have an extra bonus for the ultimate bundle. One last thing about it, I personally have a live Q&A after my presentation goes live, so you'll get all those details once you sign up, but I'm super excited to chat with you about it, answer any questions, and also learn from you, because I always do. Okay, so you'll find the link to sign up for your free ticket below in the description. I hope you'll join us. It'll be so much fun. And I know I am constantly on a quest to organize my space, as this video that we are currently in will tell you. I hope to see you there. Let's get back to this video. All right, getting back into some quick ideas for alternate uses. These are wine holders I see a lot at the thrift store. So if you see one, grab it up, because you can use it for storing your wallpaper, your vinyl, or your wrapping paper, whatever you have. I grabbed it, put it on its side, and this is how I was storing my stuff. And you can fit multiple rolls inside each of those little wine pieces. So that was a great way to reuse something. Another thing that's kind of outside the normal crafty box are these containers here. Now these are intended for cassettes or phones. You can actually, a lot of them used for ink pads. And so I had two up on my wall that I would use for my Distress Oxides and my Catherine Pooler inks. And they were brilliant. This is before I painted them white. I finally took the time, I spray painted them white. They looked great in my craft room. So I thought this was an interesting way to do it. I've also seen these at thrift stores too, so you can check out there. I now store my inks in these containers. Now these are the ink storage units from scrapbook.com, and I waited for them to be on super sale, which I will always notify you when that happens. So make sure that you're subscribed to my email list. I send out all of those updates for you. But yeah, that's how I store my ink pads now, and I couldn't be happier with it. They're super sturdy, really great, and I really love them. All right, another alternative use. This is supposed to be like a paper towel holder. I use it for my rolls here. And I, to this day, use this just as it is. I have my foam rolls. I have my adhesive. They're easy to take off and put on. I have no idea why I'm moving so slowly in this video, by the way. I don't know what was happening there, but maybe I wanted you to get the full effect. I don't know. Was it supposed to be satisfying? I have no idea. But anyway, that's how I store on this paper towel holder. Love it. This I got from the thrift store, and it's a magazine holder, I guess is the intended purpose. But I use it for all of my plates and things for my die cutting machines. Keeps them all together in one place. I love it. It's really good. It has 3 compartments, so thrift store for the win on that one. So make sure you're checking out your local thrift stores. You can find some really good deals. Our next category is supply and tool organization. So this is sort of like all the other stuff, right? Let's talk about pencils. Now, I did not get this from a craft store. I got this off Amazon. It's for pencils or markers, and I keep my Prismacolors in there and keeps this humongous set all together. You can fit 3 pencils into each slot, so if you want to do blends, you can do that. That was really great. So I love that one. This is how I store my swatches. I use a 9x12 album or binder, and you put them all in page protectors, and I just keep them, label them, and it's all right there. I can grab one binder. It will fit so much. This particular binder is huge, and so I love that I can just grab and go when it comes to my swatches. I swatch out inks, paints, even pops of color I swatched out so that I can see what they look like when they're out of the bottle. So that was just the way that I do it. It's another way for me to use what I have instead of thinking I don't have what I need when I really, the binder is the proof. Here's another way that I use a binder. This is a smaller 6x8. This, aside from my die storage, has to be my favorite way I store stuff and have been consistently for years. I use my stencils because of this binder. I'm not even kidding. Before, they were a hodgepodge mess in their original packaging all over the place, and now they're all in this beautiful binder. Doesn't matter what one you use, but this system itself is really, really great for me, and it's been keeping me using what I have. All right, let's talk about this. This is great. I get to update you all on this item. Now, craft companies have this for sale. It's you can see it on the screen, what I'm showing you. I don't know if those prices have changed since recording that original video. But a lot of you have told me that you can find it at Walmart in like the baby section or something for $5. So that's cool. So check Five Below, check Walmart. I really do like it. I think it keeps the stuff sturdy, in place, off to the side, and it's thin, so it has a small footprint. So I really do like those. I think those are a great item. I can also put markers in them. Let's say I'm going to go mobile and color downstairs on the couch. I can do that as well. So I really do like those. But again, you can find them cheaper than even what I'm showing you here. Okay, let's talk about how I store my glue dots. Now I have the pops of color. I have a lot. Let me refer back to the no judgment area. I love the pops of color. They're so great, and I love the consistency. You've probably heard me talk about them. I've tried a bunch. These are my favorite, but I'm not trying to sway you if you love what you have. But if you're curious, they are fantastic. So this is how I store them. Now I have this shelving unit that, because they fit them all, right? But there are lots of things that you can buy to fit your stuff. Now this is also, I presume, a nail polish tray holder, something like that. I think I picked this up at like a TJ Maxx or home goods store. So check those places out too for storage. You can get a lot of stuff not that expensive there. And so that's where I picked those up. Okay, let's go into my one drawer here. I wanted to show you how I keep my blending brushes organized. This little tray is from the Dollar Tree, and so is the tray holding the large round brushes. Again, I don't like to keep my stuff flying all over the place. I like it to be in a spot where it's not going to move around. So I have those trays in there, and I love those for that. Now, on the right-hand side, I have my sponge daubers. I actually keep these in something that they weren't intended for. I keep them in the containers meant for the pops of color, so you can store them upside down. But as you just saw, I keep my pops of color a different way. And I use this for my sponge daubers, and it works great because they're not inking up all the drawer or anything like that. They're just right in their spot. So I'm a huge fan of those things to keep my sponge daubers. All right, let's move on to the next item here that I want to show you. And that is just a couple ideas for storing your cardstock. So I am an advocate for pre-cutting my cardstock. I find that's the last thing I want to do when I sit down and create. And so I have it all organized here using these little labels. You can makeshift all of this. You do not have to buy this. Do recommend just having some sort of a holder. Now, if you are thrifty, you want to go to the thrift store, you can find containers that have compartments in them. You can look at like mail dividers, things like that, and you'll be able to put different cardstocks in there. You can label them. So that's how I do mine. I think it's just so great. I have all different kinds of cardstocks labeled. Let's talk about this marker storage because I love it. It's pretty. It keeps each marker in its own little home, but it's actually not how I store my markers anymore. I was finding with this marker storage, which I think is lovely, and if you never plan on moving your markers, it's perfect. But I was finding that I couldn't color anywhere but my desk. And so for me, that was problematic. So what I decided to do was put all my markers back in their bag. They come in this, I have the Ohuhu 320. They come in these already compartmentalized parts of this bag, right? Well, they don't come color coded, I had to do that. But I can put them in there, lay it on its side, and then what I've done is put a rubber band around the blend set. So now I can just grab out the blend set instead of looking for 3 or 4 different colors, and I can start coloring. Okay, let's talk about these containers now. These particular containers, I wanted to find a way to store some of my alphabet dies. I don't use them enough, and so I thought if I had a place that I can put them all by letter, it would work out for me. It's a little much, I'll be the first to admit, but these are actually containers that are meant for the daubers over at scrapbook.com, and so now I just have 3 of them and I use them for my letter dies, and I've also labeled the top of them with stickers. This helps me actually pull them out and use them instead of having to sift through an entire, envelope full of all letters. So yes, I do like it, but probably just maybe cut out the letters you need as you need them. And maybe you don't have to store every single letter and number out there for no good reason. All right, let's move on. I love this storage for my stamps and dies. So these are not craft specifically branded, but I got them off Amazon and I love them. They're sturdy, just enough sturdiness. I don't know how to describe that, but you can put just the stamp set in there and they wouldn't be flimsy. I know I've purchased stamp holders before that were too flimsy. I had to put a piece of cardstock in there. These are not them. So I love them. They're really, to me, they're cost effective. They're cheaper than the other ones. You can buy them in the smaller size or the larger size. I like to store my coordinating dies with them as well. Sometimes I keep the backing in there of the original packaging just so that I don't have to relabel them. So that's something that you can do, or you can just go through and if you like labeling like me, have fun doing it. These envelopes here I wanted to show you are super sturdy. Now I have these, you can definitely mail out slimline cards in them. That's great. But I also wanted to show you something that I do if someone were to buy a card from me or if I were to send it as a gift. What I would do is I'd put the card into a kind of smaller but more flimsy, I'd say flimsy is a bad word, but like a thinner envelope. Then I would put it into this sturdier envelope here. Once I have it in there, I can then stamp and label that outside envelope and then they get the gift inside. Okay, that's one way to do it. Another option is to take the card and envelope and put it into this plastic envelope and label the outside of that, which I have done successfully as well. Or you can store your cards in those envelopes so that they don't get messed up before you're ready to give them out or sell them. So those are a couple ideas when it comes to the how to store your envelopes and cards or how to mail them out. I know a lot of us probably don't do that. You probably are sending the card for the card recipient, but just in case, I thought that was a really handy way to use it. And also those envelopes that I showed you in the box, affordable and super sturdy. All right, we are moving into embellishments. So I've talked about this a couple times in a few recent videos. I was not using my embellishments. I have an egregious amount of embellishments, and they're just so pretty, and they sit in there and they don't get used. I transferred all of my embellishments into this one-stop shop for me, and that is this 5-tier drawer that I use now. And I am using them like it's nobody's business. Okay, so I'm very excited about that. I'm not hoarding them, I'm using them. So I have this container here. It's not super cheap, but for me, because now I'm actually gonna be using my supplies, I love it, huge fan, comes in a couple different colors. So I wanted to make sure I included it in the way that I store my embellishments. I'm not sure if that's the right way for everybody, especially if you have littles running around that might open up drawers and toss stuff. Probably not a good idea. This might be a better option. This has containers in it. I think it has 14 containers, and they close individually. And I really liked these. I'm glad I'm showing them on the screen though, because on Amazon they look like clear acrylic, but they're not. They're like that regular plastic that's kind of cloudy. They're sturdy, they keep the stuff closed, but it's not as it looks on Amazon. So I just want to make sure I cleared that up as well. So that's another way you can store your embellishments, aside from the ways that I showed you from the Dollar Tree too. Don't forget about those. And then lastly, I just have a couple things I wanted to talk to you about organization from like office supplies. This thing right here, if you're a planner or a journaler, or you're in school like me and you need to highlight and take notes on stuff, I love this thing. This is so fantastic. It wraps around the book. It has an elastic piece, so different, fits various sizes of journals. And it fits all those pens and a little pocket there for tabs. Love it. So I wanted to show that. Also, if you're out and about, maybe you're thrifting and you find magazine holders, these are a great option, not only for storing stuff in your room, your like office area, but for paper, for cardstock. So that is a really great way to keep all of your cardstock in a nice and neat place. And that, my friends, brings me to the final thing I want to show you in this video, how I store my tape now. I'm gonna geek out about this. If you didn't see the original video, this stuff is great. Just a tape dispenser. I'm sure you can get those at the thrift store. I'm positive. There's gotta be tape dispensers there. I picked these up on Amazon. I got a clear one for my mint tape. Then I got a bigger one for my bigger rolls. First, I tried it out on this frog tape. I use this for masking, things like that in my crafting, and it works beautifully, one-handed. And then I was like, will it, after my happy dance with my thumbs, will it fit my double-sided adhesive? And the answer is yes, it does. Hello, this is fantastic. I just have it off to the side and I can keep my double-sided adhesive right there. I don't have to go sifting through it or just leaning down for it. I make things too complicated. But yes, tape dispensers, who knew? Love it. Fantastic addition to my supply organization. And then this is one from Amazon I thought was cool because it has both all in one, but I was too cheap to buy it. So I thought I'd just show you the picture in case you were interested. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let's close this video up. Whew, that was a lot. I hope it was helpful. I hope you got a couple tidbits out of it. And mostly, I hope you share in the comment section what your favorite way to organize in your craft room is. Maybe you have a favorite way you organize a particular product. Share it with us. Sharing is caring, and we all learn so much from each other. All right, to recap, in the description box below, you're gonna see items that I showed in the video, items that I used, as well as the link to sign up for the Paper Crafters Get Organized Summit. I hope you'll join us. It'll be super, super fun. And I think that's it. I think I've said enough. All right, I'll see you in the comments down below and in the next video. Bye-bye.